not gonna lie, it's been another eventful 24 hours or so here as we start to draw ever so closer to the launch of Modern Warfare, and in that time period, we've gotten a little bit in regards to the state of microtransactions or the MTX system, a little bit of information on the Battle Royale mode seemingly coming in early 2020, as well as one of the most burning questions of MP right now. What's the ranking system like? We finally got a little bit more information on this also. So there is a ton to break down in this video, and while we get into it, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd love to get a discussion going here with you guys on this stuff, and also if you're new to the channel, maybe considering that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare. As we round closer to launch, the content will be here all the same, but if you're part of that nearly 67% of viewers who aren't subscribed, the option's there if you guys want to get filled in on the daily. And not gonna lie, hitting 250,000 subscribers by launch would be insane. But anyways, let's jump into it. Let's start with the MTX discussion. Up until this point, Modern Warfare had the notion of initially, well, it's Infinity Ward. They've had a fair system in the past with Infinite Warfare, surely that will be the case, right? Then that was slightly confirmed by discussions mentioned from leakers, but then it took a hard, dark turn when the Spec Ops survival tease happened that indicated that PlayStation 4 would have a whole year of exclusivity, and in that moment, leaker The Gaming Revolution mentioned that his sources told him that it was going to be a full-blown Black Ops 4 with stickers, tags, emblems, weapon charms, and the likes to fill out and blow out the supply drop loot pool, with DLC weapons coming as well, being in there only in supply drops. It's since been walked back a little, not necessarily by him, but the sources saying the feedback was noted from the community, but we're honestly still left with such an insane amount of questions. You can't play that close to fire, light the match, and then think people won't be like, what the hell are you doing? And here's the thing, we won't truly know until launch what will happen, and even truth be told, likely a few months after that, as we can start to see if things will stay safe, become abysmal. But for now, Joel Emsley, studio art director at Infinity Ward, ended up replying to a comment on his developer's POV Reddit thread from about 2 weeks ago. The comment that it was in response to said, "I appreciate the gesture and you and Infinity Ward immensely," talking about his transparency of his viewpoint of essentially just being caught in the crossfire here, all of it, where he was saying, "We're just making the game and we'd love to make it as fair as possible." But the reply also ended up continuing to say, "You can tell this game has a lot of hard work going into it. We just want clear answers on the MTX system, specifically because Black Ops 4's MTX system existed purely to wring the customer out of money, and we'd hate to see that happen to Modern Warfare. It isn't your choice though, and only Activision, but a little clarity would be nice." Bear in mind, this was 2 weeks ago, so if I were to guess, Joel had to get official clearance to post anything about this, which in that sense gives me a little more hope for the situation's outcome, being that it was passed through official channels. He states, "Thank you for the kind words about the effort we put into the game, and I'm sorry for such a delayed response. What I can say is that we are focused on making a different system for Modern Warfare, one with a direct path to content for players." Now, the key words that we love to hear is with a direct path to content for players, meaning that assumingly we won't have to rely on simply supply drops given that context. That is, I think, if it sticks and stays on the wall the entire year, an absolutely great thing. I don't think there can be really any argument for getting post-launch content free to the player and earnable organically. I don't see that as any sort of bad thing. I really don't think that there's a downside to that, but again, that's assuming that this sticks throughout launch and then afterwards into post-launch as well. But like we just mentioned also, we likely won't know what this means fully until launch. We'll be getting things in the next few days to weeks ramping up to the launch of the game that detail some of the changes coming from beta to launch, details on the netcode plans and all, but I actually don't think that we'll be seeing anything talking about this in an official capacity until launch and thereafter. I think that the ambiguity of this message is the most that we'll end up getting, but I think it also ends on an at least positive note. One thing though is that shortly after this was posted and in direct reply to it, Victor, the original Modern Warfare leaker who we've talked about here on the channel, and as well he's that one from the very beginning who leaked literally the logo of Modern Warfare, and to this day I'm still astonished that that tweet was never taken down. But along the way he's also leaked a ton of other content as well, so his word is a little more credible than just an anonymous account claiming to have information. But Victor stated it's really different from Black Ops 4's microtransactions, more like Infinite Warfare's microtransactions system, which, even though we have to take this with a grain of salt, even though we have absolutely nothing to confirm nor deny this, it is something that Infinite Warfare system, if it's by comparison, it looks to be at least way better than Black Ops 4 and still may very well be decent for the player. Infinite Warfare system, for those players that maybe either chose to forego that title or didn't play it all that much, gave players the base DLC weapons for free. You had either the season pass where you could get them immediately, or you could use some challenges to unlock them, which didn't take all that long in terms of in-game playtime. But while there were stat-changing variants in the supply drops, players had the free organic route to unlock them. And that's something that, especially given that what Black Ops 4 did, is something I want tremendously. But anyways, to talk a little bit outside of the MTX system, the simple standard base game. What's the ranking system like? Well, it was rumored firstly for seasonal rankings, something that would be coming to the game, but it wasn't ever set in stone. Infinity Ward apparently wanted it to change it up a little bit, and whether or not you may think this is right or wrong, it may be happening. From what it seems though, it's not as terrible as you may think, and from perspective of a YouTuber, that probably doesn't carry as much weight because a part of my job is to play the game. But even for the weekend warriors, the people that don't play all that often, the way this is described now doesn't seem too insanely hard to do, and it may not be as punishing for those who don't complete each seasonal rank either. So let's dive into it. The information comes from the Gaming Revolution, who just today tweeted about all this stuff from his sources. His link is in the description below. If you don't follow him, I recommend it. He's done a lot for the information stream for Modern Warfare as the past few months, so check him out. But anyways, according to his sources, there is no prestige system in this game. None. Instead, there will be seasonal ranks that will be replacing the traditional prestige system, but it partially seems like that's the only part that will be replaced, the prestige. How it looks based upon these leaks is that you'll end up having your traditional level 1 through 55 that you only have to complete once. This then in turn unlocks all your items, every weapon, kill streak, perk, field order, and all that you'd have with your standard ranking system. But what we then will see after that is once you hit rank 55 in a season, you'll have additional levels after that. Right now, there doesn't seem to be any sort of cap, so it could theoretically go forever, and after you pass up 55, you'll end up starting to see seasonal rank 56 and so on, like how you'd see with Master Prestige. But with the start of each new season, you'll end up reverting back to 55, not rank 1 if you complete that. So with that in mind, you'll only ever have to unlock your items once, which to me, that was the annoyance of prestiging in the first place and why in some games I didn't go to Master Prestige. So personally, I'm okay with that, I think. For each season, there also is apparently over 100 seasonal challenges for you to complete, and whether they reward you with XP or specific items in terms of masteries, we don't exactly know just yet, but it seems like right now you'll end up getting a ribbon to show off with each once the season is over. That part has me a little perplexed. I don't know if you're going to have just a plethora of them or if it's going to be something that shows off the masteries of them, but it seems like it might be the former, that you'd have a plethora of them because apparently each will give you an XP multiplier as well. Apparently from the game files, there's already 5 seasons already known and out there, but whether or not we see more in terms of an upped frequency compared to that of Black Ops 4, or if it's something where we have 6 main events or seasons, that's something we don't know of just yet. But it's very possible we'll see all this come to pass in a very short period of time. Also, it seems like there will be a battle pass of some sorts. It wasn't detailed at all, but consider those to return also. The final thing to note is a little bit about the Battle Royale game mode for Modern Warfare. Now, the current rumor is this is going to be coming as of early 2020. It's going to be a standalone thing, not even developed by Infinity Ward. So don't worry, this isn't going to be something that they're going to take resources or anything from MP, Campaign, Spec Ops, or anything like that. Like how we saw Blackout was done in-house by Treyarch, where they had to juggle then Blackout, MP, and Zombies. This is apparently going to be different, where Raven is seemingly at the helm of this, and so therefore, it'll be its own thing. But this has been rumored for quite some time, and we may have actually seen our first look in the trailer for Spec Ops at what may very well be the Battle Royale map. It's apparently set in Ukraine and is a part of that Donetsk, but the downtown portion of it. So think the ground war map of downtown, and also that Spec Ops map, it very well could be the exact same place. Apparently even the Battle Royale game mode internal code name was Dun TSK at one point, which is Donetsk, and therefore ties it all together with that. So what you see in Spec Ops, what you see in Ground War may be very well what you get. In terms of what's going to be coming along with that, it of course have a bunch of other pieces that we know from MP, from Campaign, and also has some apparently remastered maps and variations of classics making their return for the Battle Royale map as well, so set in the outskirts probably of that city. But anyways, I'm incredibly excited to see, especially Battle Royale. I know that it's not everybody's cup of tea. I absolutely love BR. But with this being its own standalone thing, rumored as its own application, as a free-to-play element of Modern Warfare, I'm incredibly excited here with this. And while we probably won't have much in terms of leaks or any official reveals happening anytime soon for this, and we might just get these little smaller crumbs of it like we do right now, I'm still excited for it. I'm definitely looking forward to that, but that's where we're going to wrap it up. That is everything here that we learned out of the last 24 hours. Again, a little bit more on the MTX system, a little bit more on the ranking system, and a little bit on Battle Royale. So that said, what are you looking forward to the most here out of this, if any of it at all? Maybe you guys feel strongly one way or the other. If so, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare. We're going to be ramping up the content tremendously here as we get ready for Modern Warfare's launch, and I'm incredibly excited to bring guys all that I have planned. If you're interested in that, hit that subscribe button. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected from outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those, so if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, the link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. Minus an espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.